I hope you can see me okay. It looks like I have some little blurry spots in the camera, but I think it's okay. I'm just kind of winging this video, so just bear with me if it seems like I'm a little scattered here, but I really just felt like I needed to make this video more just to talk more about my issues more than anything else. First of all, I want to say that this video probably will be a little graphic. So just bear in mind if you're watching with your kids or whatever that, you might not want them to watch this video. So just putting that out there. And also, I want to say that some people may not agree with my views, and that's okay. You don't have to. I'm doing this for my own reasons and not for anybody else's reasons, and if you can't accept that or accept where I am in my journey, then that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. So I want to just start by saying why I decided to go plant-based. I know that I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about it again. I went plant-based for a few reasons. Primarily for my health. As some of you know, some of you may not know if you're just watching this video for the first time, that I have lupus. I have issues with blood pressure. I've had issues with my kidneys because of the lupus, and I'm trying to see how changing my diet to plant-based will affect that. I've seen other people on YouTube. I'm not going to go into the names, but I've seen other people on YouTube and on other social media sites who have cured themselves from certain illnesses, lupus being one of them. And I will say that so far in my personal journey with plant-based foods, I've had some nice improvements in my health, and those that I do contribute to changing what I eat. The second reason why I do this is, of course, because I don't believe that we need to consume any animal products to be healthy. I don't think we need it. I think there's plenty of science out there that supports a plant-based diet as being a healthy diet. So I do believe that. I also am against, of course, animal cruelty. That kind of goes part and parcel when you say that you don't think you need to eat animal products to maintain health. You don't need to kill animals unnecessarily. I believe that. That all sounds really great on paper. For some, myself included, it's not always easy to execute. And I struggle from time to time. I have struggled. And I don't know what it will take, when it will take me to not have these struggles. I'm working on it every day. But my struggles are not simply because I'm craving a piece of meat. I go back in my life to when I was a young kid. I've been through a lot in my 42 years of life, and I'm not making excuses for anything. But I want to be clear in why it is that I struggle the way that I struggle. I've been overweight for as far back as I can remember. When I was a young girl, I'm talking under 10 years old, I was sexually molested. Sexually molested. And it wasn't until I was, I don't know, maybe 16 years old that I started having memories of what happened to me as a kid. And I struggled with that for many years. And that was hard. I told my dad about that, and he didn't believe me. So I've held on to that for many years. He's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. But I did not get the support that I needed when I went through that. So I've had a very strong relationship with food my whole life. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a very strong relationship with food my whole life. I've struggled. And I've done my best. And I'm trying to change my relationship with food. I'm trying to make different choices. And I'm trying my very best to remember that when I am going through hard times. Yesterday I struggled. And it brings me right back to the way that I used to be every single time that I have a struggle. It doesn't matter what it is. I remember when I was in my 20s. We were all out celebrating the birth of my sister's baby. And we were all drinking and drunk. I don't think I was drunk though, but everybody else was anyway. I was dancing with my father. And he asked me, "Why are you so fat?" I didn't know what to say. I don't recall hearing "I love you" from my parents. We were not a family that was very outwardly affectionate towards each other. My mother has significant mental illness, and she was very abusive verbally when I was a kid. She chased me with a butcher knife. I was terrified for my life. I don't have a good relationship with my mother. I can barely stand to be around her. And luckily, I live 2 provinces away from her that I don't need to be around her that often. But when I am there visiting my family, I can take her in small doses, and that's about it. My eldest sister, on my wedding, they all traveled out here for my wedding, my 3 sisters and their families. It was a good time. But my sister had a problem with my husband for whatever reason. And her and I got into it. She accused my husband of, what was the word she used? Leering at her young daughter and my other niece. Leering. My husband is not Caucasian. He's from Sri Lanka, and he's the best man that I've ever met in my entire life, and he's my best friend. And he has never been anything but kind to anybody in this world. I have not spoken to my sister in 4 years. I couldn't get past her making that accusation. So I have a lot of baggage in my life, obviously, as you can tell. And when I struggle, it's hard for me not to just go back into my old habits and the way that I used to numb myself from things. So I struggle with that on a daily basis. That's the way that it is for me. So yesterday, I had a stressful day at work. I did the best that I could, whatever, it was fine. By the end of the day, I went home and I was very tired. I was very frustrated. And I go home, my house is not clean. My husband is out of town working right now in Alberta. So it's just me here with my 10-year-old son and our dog, and I struggle with fatigue on a daily basis from lupus. I have a lot that I deal with, but for the most part, I deal with it okay, and I do just fine. Yesterday, I was frustrated. I was very tired, and when I got home, I ate a hot dog. I ate a hot dog. And yeah, I mean, I definitely could have made a healthier choice, but I didn't. In that moment, that hot dog was what was going to make me feel better. Anybody can say, oh, it's so easy to make a vegan choice or to make a healthy choice. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I didn't choose to eat a hot dog because I thought it was easier or more convenient. I chose the hot dog because when I'm upset and when I'm frustrated and when I'm tired, junk food is what registers to me as what the answer is. You need to get some junk food. You need to eat something that is comforting to you. That's what I reach for. It would be easier for me to reach for a piece of fruit. I get that. I know that. But it's not always what we do. Depending on how you cope with your problems and how you relate to food, that really will dictate what you do in those moments where you're feeling weak and you're feeling tired. A lot of people who struggle with food addictions, that have struggled for years and years with food addictions, that have comforted themselves with food, that have created a wall around themselves with food, they're always going to choose the junky food. Well, maybe I shouldn't generalize. In my opinion, in my case, because I don't always make those choices. A lot of times I do make a good choice and I stick with my plan. 99% of the time I stick with my plan. I will say that. But there are those times when I don't. And I don't need to be chastised for that. I don't need to be criticized for that. If you want to be genuine about your response and show some support and compassion for somebody in that situation, that's great. Do that. But if you're going to go and impose your strict beliefs on somebody else and make, that there's no excuses for what you do, and that how, you can't possibly call yourself a vegan if you're eating meat. Well, hello. It happened once. Yesterday. I mean, yeah, I've struggled in the past, but every day I'm working at it. I'm working at making better choices. I'm working at making that connection with animals more strong so that over time I'm less likely to reach for an animal product, a hot dog or hamburger or whatever, and I'm gonna reach for the vegan option. I'm working on that. But I'm also working on why I'm sitting here and I weigh 250 pounds. I weigh 250 pounds not because I simply just ate the wrong stuff. I weigh 250 pounds because I ate myself to this size. Because I was protecting myself from something. When I didn't feel like I was getting what I needed from my parents, food comforted me. Food was that love that I didn't get. And I need to retrain myself to love myself in different ways and not just to rely on food. So it's a struggle. And yeah, maybe I haven't truly dealt with the things that happened to me as a kid. Obviously, when it still evokes that much emotion out of me. You know, I need to work on that. And I used to see a counselor many years ago, but I stopped because I moved. But maybe I need to look into that again. Maybe I need to look into talking to somebody that's professional, that can not be biased, and help me to work through those feelings, because I still feel very vulnerable when I talk about those things that happened to me when I was younger. And you know, thankfully, my parents, they did divorce when I was younger. I was 8 years old when they finally split up, and their divorce was not was not pretty. My I don't remember my parents ever getting along. They were always fighting. My dad was never home. He was always out drinking. And when he was home, he was taking us to McDonald's, like he was the good parent, you know. They comforted us with food. That's what we learned, you know. So I need to unlearn all of that, and I'm doing the best that I can. And I just felt like I needed to make this video more for me to document this moment, because I'm going to look back on this in a year from now, and I'm going to see how far I've come. Anyway, I need to get to work, so thanks for watching. If you watch this video, I appreciate your support, and I hope you all have a great day, and hopefully my next video will be more positive. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.